pressure. Well, well, well.
Well, 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 indeed.
See, you cannot go by yourself. Or take your buddy Jeff.
Jeff's bad influence. I'd say no.
No.
We'll grab a light.
What's the? Does it roll now? I think so.
Ah. See what happens here.
Keep going?
You want to let it down a little bit? Sure, please.
Safety first. Okay.
Okay, go in.
That's that one. Okay. There we go. I had to go change my underpants.
I was ready to let her down, so don't worry.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, now what?
Let's dump her. We'll hook this to the truck, crank the wheels, and we'll park her.
You think it'll drag it on the floor?
I think I'll drag it on the jack.
On
What
this
do we
track?
got? What tire is fucked? Both of them?
I think so. I think the park brake was actually on a tiny bit, which might have fucked it up.
Is that one fucked too?
Yeah.
oh yeah, they're not moving it. Oh,
It's the brakes. Because when I pulled on the park brake, it wasn't down. It just went like a little snap, and I was like, and if you try to press the pedal, it doesn't move.
Okay, so ended up making a cut here, and the reason why is this sheathing. You can see the sheathing's been beat up for a long time, and as a result, water, sand, salt, gravel, everything gets in here, rusts this out, and the cable itself was seized. The park brake up front doesn't want to, you step on it, doesn't want to go anywhere. That's, you know, the first clue that the park brake's seized. But this one happened to seize with a little bit of tension on it. So anyway, I just took a grinder with a cutoff disc and just chopped that off. I tried to get some like side cutters, but it's too much for it. So I did that. When I cut this one, you could immediately hear the tension release on here, and the drum just kind of came right off. So all I'm really going to do is just kind of tidy these up a little bit in here, clean them up, shoot them with some brake clean, put the drums back on so I can actually put this thing back on the ground, and, you know, carry on with my repairs, I guess. But until I could do this, both rear wheels were seized in place. So this wasn't just a problem, hey, I can't get the brake drums off. This was, I can't move the truck anywhere. So if this was a roadside repair, you could have cut those and be off and driving, no problem. If I'd have known, I could have, or if I had suspected, or had I been thinking more, I could have probably done that before I took it off the trailer, and everything would have been fine. But the reality is, you know, I didn't think about it then. I thought about it now, and seems to be fine. So I'm going to throw these drums back on, get these wheels on. Maybe I'll throw that drive shaft back in. I don't know if you remember this. I took the drive shaft off, thinking that I had a problem with the transmission or transfer case. I didn't know why the back wheels weren't turning. So I'm going to throw the drive shaft back on there, get that good, and hook up the transmission, shifter, get this thing into park, and then we can kind of work on the rest of the stuff we got to work on. Well, let's get on with that now. Hey guys, welcome back. So been following along. You know that I want to build an OBS out of the wrecking yard, because I firmly believe that the OBS is the vehicle to build right now. Parts are available at the auto wreckers like it used to be when I was younger. So with that in mind, I thought I would try and improve it by building one out of the wrecker. So I bought myself an OBS. Let's take a look. I put up an ad looking for an OBS. I wasn't too sure if I wanted two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. What I did know I wanted was a Shortbox, regular cab, because in this garage, it's pretty much all that fits. You see, I'm like right up here. And then in the back, you know, it's all I can do to get my fat ass around there. So a Shortbox, regular cab was the way to go. So I put an ad out on the book of faces there, and I had a few people get back to me, but this fella, his name is Todd out in Red Deer, got back to me and said, hey, listen, I have a 1990 GMC Sierra Shortbox regular cab, four-wheel drive. And I thought, okay, all right, you talking my language now. What do you want for it, Todd? Todd made me a sweet deal, $3,500. And he can't complain. That's a lot of truck for $3,500. Of course, it's not perfect. In fact, it's not running yet. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to take to make it run, but we're going to find out. What I do know is, at least judging a book by its cover, it looks like there's a lot of truck here for the money. It's partway through an install of a 350. I haven't really had a chance to get in there and check it all out yet. I know that the fuel pump I don't think is hooked up yet. Maybe fuel lines, maybe the pump itself. Maybe the tank needs a replacement. I got a good memory, but it's short. Up front, let's take a look. You know what? Let's pop the hood here. Okay. Oh, gonna be like this, are you? How come every time people are around? Okay, all right. I take it back. Okay. So under here, he's replaced the 350 with another known good 350 from a donor truck. He says he drove the donor truck around for a few months, so theoretically it's a known good motor. I like that. And upon installing it, something went wrong. I think the oil pan leaked or something like that. So it ended up getting pushed off in the corner. He was building it for his nephew, ended up buying his nephew a different truck or something. I'm not too sure. But it kind of got forgotten about. And seeing his other stuff, I can understand why. This isn't a real super fancy truck, and he owns a lot of super fancy trucks. Anyway, so this motor has been replaced, but there's still work to do. And I'm not too sure what as of yet, but we'll get into it. A couple things I did notice down below. Maybe we'll take a look at that, and we'll do a quick little walk around here. You guys can get familiar with it. So let's start with the body, I guess. When you see these flares, you should be concerned. I'm concerned because when I reach under here, I can feel some rust and crust, and I know what's there. And that is, when I look at the rest of it, it looks pretty good. Are we just going to pop that off, give this a polish, pop it back on? Possibly. Are we going to repair that patch panel? Possibly. We're going to replace the box? Possibly. You know, if I found a box cheap enough and it was rust free, I don't know if I can find that, I would swap it. On the cab itself, I'm looking down here and I'm seeing the cab corner shot. That's pretty typical on an OBS. These 88 to 98 trucks, almost always the cab corner is rotted out of it. Same as the rockers. So the rocker's not quite as bad as a 60 to 66. That rotted rocker would follow all the way into the floor. So from that standpoint, it's not too bad. Up here on the front, I think the same rule applies to these lips as the back, and I can feel it. It's rusted in here. I don't know if I can show you or not. I'll try. I don't know if you can see that or not. I haven't seen it myself, so I'll see it when I edit the video, I guess. Up front, we're missing a front bumper, but it's in the back. Missing the grill, but it's in the back. I kind of like these wheels, mainly because we don't see them much anymore. Everybody replaced them. They're not a super exciting wheel, but these are in pretty nice shape. Now, how many kilometers are on the rig? I don't know. He changed out the dash cluster, so he doesn't know either, which is okay. Doesn't really matter, seeing how the body is halfway decent, and the drivetrains have been replaced. This side's kind of a second verse, same as the first kind of deal. I can actually put my finger through a hole here. Yeah. Let me try and give you a peek. Down here, same deal, it's okay. Bottom of the cab, same as the other side. This rocker, same deal, right? See that? That's just the way it is. You want a cheap OBS? You're gonna have to learn to deal with that. That's all there is to it. And this fender, same thing. We got the rust and the crust and the holes and the, you know, that kind of thing going on. That's okay. It looks like everything's here. we'll have to go through it all. I am not familiar with an OBS at all. OBS would be the 88 to 98 Chevy and GMC trucks. I've owned a couple, but I've always only owned them, you know, as cheap drivers, I suppose. Nothing project or even maintenance, to be honest. On the inside here, we see we got, we have AC, we have cruise control, we have tilt steering, we have power windows and power door locks. That's not bad. It's a pretty well thought out truck for 1990. This seat has that itchy army blanket kind of material. Not a big fan of that. I got a seat in the back. We'll go over that in a minute. This seat here, if you're local to Edmonton and you want it, you can have it. I think there's a little bit of damage on that side. We'll go take a look. It's got the rubber floor. I've already been up to IPL and I pulled a carpet for this thing. It's in fantastic shape. And also got a seat for it as well. Anyway, it's got the dash mounted cup holder. My buddy Jeff loves these things. He's actually he's a buyer and seller when it comes to these. He runs a bit of a side hustle with cup holders. If you need one, get hold of them. He has them in all the colors. When I got it home, the shifter wasn't hooked up to the transmission. I couldn't find the rod anywhere. I thought maybe it would be in this pile of parts in the back. It wasn't. When I was digging through up here, I actually found it this morning after I came back from the wreckers with a new one. That's not on the truck. That's how my life is. In the back here you can see this is a seat I picked up from the wreckers last week in anticipation of this truck. I picked it up. It had some dents and stuff in the foam, just from stuff piled against it. I power washed it. It had some stains. It had an odor. I just power washed it till the water coming off of this looked clean enough to drink. And at that point I stopped. I soaped this thing up and I scrubbed it and just rinsed it till it was fantastic, and it is. And that'll go in here. It'll be great. Yeah, we're gonna look at that seat. So it looks like it's got a burn here, a couple burns here, and then some cracking here. But what do you want for free? If you want it, you know, get hold of me. You can have it. Come on down, pick it up. Because I'm probably going to drop it off at the wreckers if nobody wants it. Like, I don't want it. But if you do, just let me know. You don't have to give me anything. Yeah. So somebody's put an aftermarket radio in the middle there. I got rid of this one and put a place that they could put their cigarettes, I suppose. We're going to need a windshield, which is too bad because I walked past a few good windshields. But that's okay. We're gonna get back there. Need a headliner. That's okay. We can get that too. Door looks okay. Or door panel rather. Got a nice GMC steering wheel there. I like that. I know we're still in the walk around, but I tossed my seat in there. This is the replacement seat. You guys, some of you may have watched the video or the short or whatever where I washed it. Picked this up out of the wreckers, washed it up. It looks great. The interior of this truck smells like cigarettes, so I thought I'd get that seat out of here and replace it with this one. It would help a lot. We'll see. So anyway, let's get back to the walk around video. Man, I love that seat. And that's pretty much your walk around. Overall, the body's pretty good. I gotta say, it's pretty good. I know we got some rust hiding under there. This isn't a restoration, so I'm not so sure we're gonna get all that caught up in repairing all that. We may just get into trying to save this paint, so we might just get into power polishing all of this. And doing a repair here, that sheet metal and the rocker. Now the rub with this, I want to do as much as I can out of the auto wreckers. Clearly I can't do cab corners out of the wreckers. I can't do rocker panels out of the wreckers. But I can do a lot. And that's going to be what this is. We're going to rebuild this OBS truck using vast majority of the parts from the auto wreckers where it makes sense. And I think we can do it. It needs a lot, but it doesn't need a lot. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. Does that motor even run? I hope so. I think so. That guy seemed like he's a pretty honest guy. But let's go in there and take a look. Now, one thing to note is he wasn't done. This was like, he was fixing this up for his nephew, and the oil pan started leaking and got pushed off in the corner. He bought his nephew a different truck, and this one just kind of got forgotten about. If you've seen the quality of his vehicles, you'd understand why this would get pushed off in the corner. There's a few questions I have, like I don't know what these wires are for. Like I said, I'm not really the OBS guy. I'm not sure I can find out. They have to plug in somewhere close, I suppose. Looks like the exhaust is not hooked up yet. Not a big deal. He did mention something about the fuel. And this truck was at one time switched over to carburetor instead of fuel injection, and then he was switching it back to fuel injection. So I imagine we're going to have a few hiccups and surprises and whatnot along the way. Under here, the frame and everything looks pretty good. Back here it looks very rusty. I don't know if you can see all that, but it's just surface rust. I mean, we should be able to clean that up, I believe. I'm not concerned about it at all, to be honest. I did have an issue with the brakes being seized up. Turned out it was just a park brake cable. And if you see a park brake cable that looks like this, what happens is this plastic sheathing that's supposed to protect it from the elements wears away as we beat it up with the rocks and dirt and sand and debris. And then once that's gone, water gets in this metal cable and it ends up rusting the cable solid. So if it happens to have a park brake on when it does that, guess what? You're not getting it off. So I ended up just taking a grinder and a zip disc, cut both sides, and freed up the wheels. So that's good to go. What's this? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. I imagine there's going to be a few surprises, which is okay. It's all par for the course. This is the newest project truck I think I've ever owned, to be honest with you. Normally the stuff I buy is from the 50s or 60s or 70s, maybe even the 80s, but we just broke into the 90s. And it's hard to believe that an OBS truck is 35 years old now. In fact, they start at 37 years old. So anyway, this is what I got. A 1990 GMC Sierra, regular cab, short box, 4-wheel drive. Currently not running, but hopefully it doesn't take us too much to get there. First thing on my list is to get the oil pan changed out because it leaks. From what I understand, I have to drop the front diff to get the pan out, and then once the pan's out, I can put it in a new gasket. I bought a new oil pan already, and I'll put that back together, put the diff back in, and then we'll go from there. So we got a path. That's what we're going to do. 1990 GMC Sierra. We're going to build this thing out of the wreckers. I don't know what we need. I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but from what I'm seeing at the wreckers nowadays, this is a truck to build if you want to save a lot of money. So join me as we get after this guy. Thanks, guys. Wow. Well, me and the missus gave her a little bit of a spit shine, and I gotta say, she cleans up pretty good. I'm not talking about her, but she cleans up pretty good too.
Thank you.
I'm talking about the old Sierra. Well, what do you think, fellas? Let me know in the comments. Is this one going to be worth it? I sure hope so.